and welcome back to the Pacific Indoor Bowling Club here in Vancouver, British Columbia. I'm Bill Curry along with Andre Dufour and bringing you some primetime bowls here on the west coast of Canada with the final match, round 5 of match day 1 here of the Bruce Matheson Open Singles of the Pacific Coast Open. And Andre, we've had a great opening day here at the Bruce Matheson Open Singles, and we've certainly seen a lot of competitive bowls.
Yeah, we certainly have, and a lot is at stake for these players as they reach the sort of more farther along rounds. Because in order to progress to Saturday's elimination round, they need to win at least 3 matches, and so now these folks know what they need to do, and it's down to the wire.
And our feature match today features Marnie Dangerfield from Lake Hill Lawn Bowling Club on Vancouver Island up against Eric Leung, who is a mainstay here at PIBC, as well as a member of Richmond Lawn Bowling Club. And they have completed their trial ends, and we'll get things underway. Monique Lamoureux of Stanley Park Lawn Bowling and PIBC is our marker for this match as Eric Leung gets us underway. So at the moment, it each of these bowlers, the bowlers today, the rules are generally they've all played they're all playing 4 matches today, and all bowlers who win 3 of those 4 matches advance to the playoff round on Saturday. Unfortunately, Marnie Dangerfield is not in contention after playing her final game today, playing this final match today. But Eric Leung has 2 wins and a loss, and a win here could punch his ticket for Saturday. And a very open hit to start this match.
Both players searching a little bit for the weight in the line here. Eric the first to find it.
And may even be holding 2 for sure. Maybe that third in the back. Marnie Dangerfield, though. Oh,
Rests away the shot ball and sits for 1.
As Monique Lamoureux indicates that it's a measure. Okay. So we're playing 2 sets of 7 ends. First player to win 2 sets will, if a player wins 2 sets, as Eric Young does that nice toucher to the back. If a player wins 2 sets, they win the match. If each player wins a match, then it will go to an extra end. And if a player wins and draws a set, they will win the match as well. So pretty wide open first end here. Eric Leung scoring 2 to begin with and maybe more as they look at the others. They're going to take out the measuring tape right away to see if there's a third.
So Eric today is playing his trusty blue Tiger 2 bowls, a relatively sort of medium drawing bowl by indoor standards. And then Marnie is using some borrowed Vector VSs, so a little bit more on the narrow side.
But most importantly for our viewers, we have red and blue bowls, finally.
We like it.
Two on the board for Eric Leung to open this match. And, it's always good to get off to a good start. As we saw in our last match, though, what you do in the first set doesn't always match what you do in the second. And for that, we're referring to the match that we just had between
George Sit.
George Sit and Serena Matthews, which went to extra ends.
Yeah, that was a startling reversal, wasn't it? 10-2 against, and then
Yeah.
maybe just a bit over on the weight there, losing that first goal.
Eric Leung wasting no time.
He's quick on the mat, isn't he? Just about 5 feet short there. Good ball here from Marnie.
Yeah. Just brushes past the jack, but right now that is good enough for shot. And Eric Leung drawing just off the jack there. Once again, good enough to be shot. This is the final match for today's wave of bowlers. We will have a second grouping at PIBC take to the rinks tomorrow. And once again, a very interesting open format where you're not looking to win your group. You're not looking to finish in the top 8. What you're looking to do is just win 3 of your 4 matches.
Yeah, it's a funny thing just sort of listening to the discussions and capturing some of the feedback. We thought it would be relatively simple for folks, just win 3 matches and you're good. But I think people are trying to reverse engineer what that means for the playoff brackets, and it gets a little complicated at that point because a variable number of players will actually be through to the post-sectional play.
Yeah, it means there could be several knockout matches on Saturday. If several players accomplish this, just to give you an idea, it's a 30-player field in this open singles tournament. And it's mathematically possible, or at the extremes, but unlikely, that 18 teams could end up in the playoff. Look at that from Marnie Dangerfield. She comes up with a great final bowl there to take the end.
Yeah, that is a clutch shot.
And both our players are now on the board. Once again, carrying the opening jack deep. Looks to be about meter beyond the tee. I should say 2 meters beyond the tee.
Yeah, should be about 29 meters total length. And both players a little bit long here.
It's been a long day of bowls for all of these players here.
Yeah, it is a sport that requires a surprising amount of stamina, not just physically, but mentally to stay focused through all these ends.
And with five games in total for the day, as Dangerfield comes in with a bit of weight here. Um, one of the things that's kind also adds sort of an element of interest is that every player gets a bye, and that's a nice draw for Marnie. Every player gets a bye, and if you get your bye in the wrong spot, it can either help you or break your momentum.
Yeah, yeah, I think managing energy throughout the games and the breaks in between is crucial.
Eric Leung trying to find an answer to Marnie Dangerfield's shot bowl here. Oh, and that's lovely from Eric Leung.
Beautiful draw. Flopped out, but still good enough for shot. Marnie told me she recently competed in the Canadian Bowler Open in Calgary, another one of the premier bowling events in Canada. A lot of the players here would have played there.
Yeah, it's great to see tournaments like the one in Calgary and the one that you're watching right here, where there's so many top-notch bowlers and a bit of prize money to help sort of alleviate some of those expenses.
Yeah, the prize money is not insignificant by North American standards. Looks like one to Eric here.
As Eric Leung takes a 4-1 lead after 3 ends. Marnie Dangerfield electing for the long jack.
Yeah, that is right on the tee. Actually, I guess that was Eric's jack, but he perhaps sent his first ball into the
Oh,
ditch.
of course.
Must have caught the side ditch beyond the range of our cameras.
a nice draw right behind the jack there by Eric Young.
Perfect position.
No, and it's nice to close out the night. We've seen such great national and international bowlers today, but we're closing out our evening with a more typical local BC match that you would see, although Marnie being from the island gets a coming into the lower mainland.
Yeah, yeah, it's nice to feature local bowlers, also of considerable talent. Looks like a pretty good bowl here if it just gets there.
Just needs a bit more weight and just a little bit short.
One and a measure for Eric. That'll make it two and a measure.
And Eric leaving little doubt about who's second at the moment. Yeah. And wide on her last bowl. So
Eric is happy with the two, so
yeah.
no measure, I don't think.
And Eric Young off to a fast 6-1 lead here in the fourth end of the first set.
It'll be interesting to see if Marnie can put some pressure on Eric because he typically exhibits a slightly more aggressive style of play when he's facing some challenges. Make for an interesting match.
And won't hang on at the back.
Good opener there by Marnie. Good bowl, didn't quite get the result. Needed the inside edge or a little more weight. Nice second.
And went back for Dangerfield.
Yeah, that's what I thought. He's going to play this one.
Just put a little divide between those two Red Bulls. So Eric, having a quick look at the head before delivering his final bowl here of the fifth end.
Yeah, he was looking at that, telling himself, I've got 2 seconds. This ain't going to be short.
And an opportunity for Marty Dangerfield to maybe put up a pair. And
Might just be under.
that'll be enough for a single point for Marnie Dangerfield as she narrows the first set deficit to 6-2. Trails by 4 with only 2 ends remaining in the first set.
That means she would need to win this end to have a chance at the set. Let's see what she does here.
And shorter jack than what we've seen so far.
Yeah, it's a reasonable strategy. Some players feel that if you're down by a lot, a shorter jack gives you a chance to score more. Hard to do when you've got that against you, though.
Absolutely perfect from Eric Young. As you can see here, just a bit of a gap between his pole and the jack.
Marnie changing hands and just coming under the line. choose to match those bowls at the back. Doesn't want to allow a grouping of three. That's the only danger to him at this point.
And it's a bit of an easy call there because you are up by four with two ends remaining here. However, he actually chooses to draw behind. Maybe not so easy.
What do I know?
Best defense is a good offense.
Fair enough.
Arnie's final bowl here just nudges up, and that's going to go to Eric Leung, and he still has one bowl remaining. And Eric Leung can clinch the set with a point here. And he'll just send it right past the head. No danger whatsoever.
No, I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole either.
So it's at least one, possibly two. But the 1 point will make the result of this set moot in the sense that he's built up a lead that is insurmountable for this set. They will complete the set, of course, because they do need to determine point differential. But Eric Leung will walk away as the winner of this first set as we are in the final end.
Drawn by Marnie.
Nice draw there from Eric, even though he's won the set already, still wanting to take the point.
Last bowl of this first set.
And that's a really good way for Marnie Dangerfield to finish this set and looks to have picked up a pair.
Very solid.
However, that is the end of the first set, and Eric Leung will come away with it. But Marty Dangerfield with a nice tap back, and that's something to build on as she tries to come back in this match.
That's right. And although Marnie won the end, Eric has won the set, so he will take possession of the mat. Those are the rules.
And we'll send it all the way, and it's just in front of the tee line.
Oh, Eric has thrown a wrong bias.
Wow. Well, it's been a long day, and it happens to the best of us.
Sure does.
So it's an opportunity here for Marnie.
Holding shot at the moment, Bill.
And Eric Leung recovering pretty well from that little mishap.
Finding the side with the little logo on the bowl. And delivering quite nicely.
And there's sort of a relaxed silence around the club tonight. Fifth game. A lot of the players playing right now already know where they stand when it comes to Saturday, so chance to be a bit more relaxed. Much of the crowd has gone home, and no doubt watching here.
I mean, that's what I would be doing.
It's a good attempt from Marnie Dangerfield. Almost draws in, and
Oh, little flop.
maybe gets that little flop at the end. We'll zoom into that and see if we can get a better shot of that. It's enough for Eric to want to take a walk down and see where things stand.
Yep. Monique's not going to call that. You come and look.
And yeah, that's close. So, I mean, but as hard as that is to tell, as they say in this game, someone is always closest.
That is correct. I think for Eric, it's just a pretty standard backhand draw here. Might be a little wide on this, just on the high line.
Just didn't want to promote Marnie's bowl there on the outside. There's some questions between distance between that blue bowl, the far blue bowl.
Yeah, it's a bit of a restricted entry here, but I think Marnie can get under those balls on either side.
Try the ditch side. And finds the way in for sure. And this might be a beaut. That is maybe the
Not
best shot we've
bad.
seen today.
Could be two, Bill.
That's a marvelous finish there from Marnie Dangerfield. So they removed Marnie's one for sure.
Caliber measure, says Eric Leon.
And they're going to drag out some of the umpire's tools in order to get a precise measurement on this. That's how close it is.
Yeah, very precise piece of equipment, the calipers. Eric is, of course, an umpire himself, and so well acquainted with their use. Also spends a fair bit of his time as the games director here at PIBC. Definitely someone who's given a lot to the sport and continues to do so. But today his only job is to impress us with his skills. I think he favors blue at the moment.
If it is blue, it'll just be one to Marnie Dangerfield. They're looking to see if maybe she has the second there. So
Just the single.
just the single by the looks of things. And Marty Dangerfield opens the scoring here in this second set. And it's a nice, nice response. We saw this in a couple of matches today where we saw this in a couple of matches today, Andre, where the first set is determined before the seven ends are played. And the losing side uses that seventh end to sort of get their game in gear.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely. Just settle the nerves and find the distance. It's a new game after the first set.
and we'll see if that's the situation here.
Looks to be a little hot. Yeah. Oh, nice attempt by Marnie, just finding the gap.
That's nice by Eric Leung. I think he gets the advantage there and is holding second as well.
I believe so. It's on a good track if it folds up. Good second. Eric might be looking to arrive on that bowl of Marnies. Stick around. Just sails by.
Nice attempt by Marnie, but just a hair short. This looks good from Eric and might actually, ooh, almost hung around. Oh, hmm. From this angle, looks like one to Eric Leung, and that's exactly what they decide on.
Yep, that's the one. All tied up at one each after 2 ends.
So um,
Don't know about that.
hmm. There is a discrepancy between the scoreboard and our scorecard.
They're definitely playing the third end now because they would have finished on the far side. So they're off by one. Seems to have brought the bat up a fair distance on this end. Perhaps a change of strategy to bamboozle the opponent.
Do people get bamboozled by that?
Well, sometimes just change the look of it enough. Or it floats one around behind. Good spot there. By Eric here.
Great shot by Eric, and he's in a very good position here, holding all four. Important shot here for Marnie Dangerfield.
It certainly is. Looks like she's playing a bit of weight on this.
It's going to take the jack and
goes
all the way into the ditch with the toucher. And now it's but I think it's Eric Leung's blue bowl that will score here.
Quite possible.
And have a look at this. But that's a fabulous finisher by Marnie Dangerfield, even if she doesn't get the result out of it.
That's a gutsy shot, isn't it, Bill? Most players would draw to cut down, but jack in the ditch, goal behind it. I love it.
Little daredevil stuff here on a Thursday night.
Got to make it exciting for the fans.
And they're going to bring out a longer, I think they're bringing out a longer measuring tape here, or, oh, it's a wedge to hold up the bowl that's actually in the ditch. So they're going to measure this off just to see if there's a second here for Eric Leung. That's a difficult measure too.
Yeah, this will be probably just a preliminary measure because normally they'd be going the other way around for jack in the ditch.
Looks to be short of the blue. And that'll be a single point to Eric Leung. Leung coming in with the draw. And shots to the hole. Very close. And,
Says measure.
oh my. And that's unfortunate.
Just a little accident. Both players will visit the head. Suppose they'll have to agree on the position since neither of them is the offending party, technically.
Now, in this case, when this happened, when the marker was examining the bowls and was trying to determine and give the players an idea of distance and called it a measure, indicated it was a measure all the way around. The players are good. Players are being good sports about this though, and coming quickly to an agreement on a position for that bowl.
It's nice to see. Not a ton at stake here, really, but it's good that folks don't bring drama, particularly when we have volunteers doing their best to mark for us.
Yeah. And it's also good that that happened in a relatively low stakes situation.
Quite right. It's a little hot.
Still, Dangerfield is starting to find her line here and her weight, and is starting to find some of the form that may have eluded her in the first set.
Yeah. I've noticed she tends to be a little bit narrow when she's playing the ditch side. I wonder if it's sort of that fear that we have of you got to take your line so far out there when you're newer to playing on these indoor surfaces that it's kind of daunting. You can't quite believe you got to go that far out.
The ditch can be intimidating here at PIBC, especially to newer players. But eventually, if um, if you want to work your way to be one of those competitive or even elite players, that's the kind of challenge that you've got to welcome all the time.
Absolutely. And some of the oh, this could be good trail.
Oh,
Certainly has the grouping there.
still some question who's folding. This angle doesn't really favor anyone.
Yeah, it's kind of an important question because if Eric is holding, you got to think he'll play cover into that grouping of three, or certainly I would. But if he doesn't have shot, there's not much to protect.
Eric's final bowl at the end. And Jess does the job there, and now this could be a big end for Eric Leung.
Yeah, that's a good shot. It provides a measure of protection and potentially remove the bull that was in contention for shot.
possible that he could have first and second shot, maybe even third here. Sparty's come close on three of her shots to taking that jack or even being able to draw into it. And we'll see if she can maintain that line that she had.
Yeah,
It's got the weight. It's coming in. It's not a bad looking shot.
chance.
And the time's the charm here. Is she going to nick it? Oh, unlucky.
Just through.
So they're going to measure it off. One would think that it would be at least one to Eric.
Yeah, he'll find Marnie's closest bowl and then visit each of his in turn.
So
Looks like 3.
yep, it is indeed three. So Eric Leung starting to build up a decent lead here in this second set.
Yes, indeed.
And the win here for Eric would seal his ticket to the playoff round on Saturday.
Eric just looking to float by or find the gap. Still 2 to Marnie at this point. Protection at the back, owning the tee and the ditch. Wait for Merrick here.
It's a nice job.
Yeah, makes contact and carries on through for shot.
That direct contact that you really need to make those shots effective.
Yeah, exactly. Got to take it square and then have just the right way to follow through. Still very drawable here.
Arnie's final shot at the end and straight through the head. So Eric Leung looks to add to his lead here with yet another single.
the players will take a moment here to reconcile the potential discrepancy between the scoreboard and reality.
Uh, as you see, we have been keeping score up here, and we did notice that there is a discrepancy between scoreboard at the end, which reads 6-1, and
So Eric seems to be in fairly good shape with this set in any case. I was looking a little bit at his past history. So back in 2018, he and Rainbow Lung, whom we featured in a match earlier today, uh, won the BC Indoor mixed pairs and went on to represent Canada actually internationally. So he would dearly love to advance here.
yeah, so in the singles pool, like the entire Pacific Coast Open has a prize pool of $13,600. Uh, the mixed pairs champions took home $3,000. You took home some prize money yesterday as well. Yourself, Andre, is third place winner.
Yeah, it was better than a sharp stick in the eye, that's for sure.
The winners of the Bruce Matheson Open Singles, and we will have the final for you on Saturday afternoon, will walk home with a cool $1,600 as for first prize. And of course, everybody who makes the playoffs will also earn a share of the overall player pool.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the group tomorrow goes. There's one section that has a fairly unusual concentration of players who did well in last year's tournament. The first and second finishers are in one particular section. We have a Canadian silver medalist in there too, so it's going to be an exciting day that we have for you.
And on that note, it appears that our match may have ended as of now, with perhaps the score out of reach, perhaps a concession of some sort. But what we do see are the bowlers putting their bowls away and shaking hands, and Eric Leung will indeed walk away with the third victory that he needed today in order to advance to the playoffs on Saturday.
Well, I guess it means it's time for us to shake hands as well. And
Yeah, we'll do so. We're just going to take a moment to acknowledge some of the great sponsors here at the Pacific Coast Open.
The Pacific Coast Open is brought to you in part by World Financial Group. Let Derek Gann and Rachel Wong help build your wealth strategy. Your life insurance and financial service professionals.
Pacific Coast Open is funded in part by a hosting grant from Via Sport BC and the province of British Columbia.
The Pacific Coast Open is brought to you in part by the Matheson Family Foundation, a registered charity organization. Having donated more than $1 million to more than 250 charities and organizations, it's all about giving back to the community.
The Pacific Coast Open is funded in part by a Vancouver Community Sports hosting grant from the City of Vancouver and the Vancouver Board of Parks and Recreation. And that marks the end of day one of the Bruce Matheson Open Singles here at the Pacific Indoor Bowls Club. We've had a great afternoon and even evening now of bowls, and we've got more coming your way tomorrow, Friday, where the second wave of bowlers in the Bruce Matheson Open Singles will take to the rinks. And we will have 4 matches for you starting at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time here on YouTube. So I hope that you will tune in for that. And also join us on Saturday where the Bruce Matheson Open Singles will come to its thrilling conclusion as we bring you the playoff rounds and the semifinals and the final of the tournament. So I hope that you will join us for that also. Want to thank you all for tuning in. I'm Bill Curry, along with Andre Dufour. Thank you so much for joining us for a long day of bowls. You did great today, and appreciate you being here, and I appreciate you being here. And I hope that you will join us all tomorrow for the continuation of the Pacific Coast Open.